state government will approach them to say, sir, we know you are a giant, a mogul in mining. We know you are a mogul in agriculture. You have been doing this. You have this kind of factory. Please come and build one factory here in Edo State so that you can create job and boost production. Mind you, that guy is a businessman. His sole purpose of coming to the state is to make profit for himself. Because he can help the state and help himself simultaneously, the government will not give him some engagement, a soft landing. What does government usually do? They now make a memorandum of understanding. They say, sir, as you are coming, to ensure that it's easy for you, we will give you what? We'll give you land. We will not buy land. We'll cut out the land for you, this items of land. Maybe perhaps we'll have security challenges in Nigeria. But during the course of the construction of this project, we may give you security to man your building for free. So that means when you start running, you cannot begin to pay for your security. Then this is what you will not do. Maybe you will not be able to employ not less than 2,000 persons in your company annually. You will be able to at least do some community social responsibility work. That's what now become called the memorandum of understanding or the agreement. The state government will not enter with an individual who has a reputation, who is known of making similar investments in other countries. And that's all. When Monday Okpebholo said he was going to get investors, I first of all wondered who was the nature of investors. Are they private investors or are they established organizations who are investing in developing countries? Because I know, I have looked at the outlook of Edo State government. I dare say Edo State government does not have the capacity to woo investor Sabinus, let alone any responsible person who has a recourse finance to engage in such a investment. So when I heard that he was going abroad for the Edo State Summit 20th and 22nd, I was very curious to know what exactly is happening. They said it was in Scotland. I monitored it closely. On the first day, 20th of September, nothing happened. No investment summit took place. They only took pictures in the train station when they gathered, they arrived, and when they both fronted that. Then the next day was Sunday. Then on Monday, with all manner of curiosity, what we saw was a video released by Monday Okpebholo on his official Facebook page, where they was doing instead of him to be selling, proposing when he was discussing with investors, what we saw was a man who was campaigning and talking about how he could gather 2.5 million votes for Tinubu. That was the central core of his message. And after I finished that, there was no pictures of any investor. There was no white man, no Chinese, no albino, nothing of that nature. He gathered the APC stakeholders and charlatans and flew in a private jet, and they spent over 2 weeks in the US, in Europe. When they came and they brought those pictures, and later they now announced there was no engagement, no official sign. They now announced that $250 million have been secured, and it was one Euro CCI. And people began to wonder, where is the man? Where is the picture? So people started inquiring into the facts. Let me give you a breakdown. First of all, they said it was one man they called Kisley. I don't add Kisley, one Kisley or Baswan. We began to investigate the company in question, because even if this company wants to come to Edo State to invest in maybe my village, the first thing they will do is to check this company's history. What is this company doing? Where has it worked? Where has it improved life? What is the nature of their business and their political culture? We discovered that this company has a website. The website, they went there to send mail to the company to at least to get information. The email bounced. They collected the phone number on the website. A $250 million company. They collected the phone number. It was one Yoruba woman who could not even speak English that was there. When the people brought this information to the public domain, they discovered that the website, in less than 2 days, the website had crashed. They quickly went to crash the website. The man in question, who says the executive director, the man does not have official, you know what I mean, for you to be controlling billions of dollars. The man does not have an official LinkedIn account. He's not known for any credible business. All he does is to be traveling abroad from one country to another, collecting titles and awards. He was one time a board chairman of one cooperative and agricultural mechanization. Later they say he was the chairman, Institute of International Peace. Now they say he's the executive director. I have called people to ask who exactly is this, because he's a Benin man. They say the man can be best described as a native doctor who does frivolous crimes abroad. He had done similar ones in United States of America, where he was almost catched and he flew away. He can't go to USA. The same man they said wants to give Edo State $250 million. And I dare say the man was so irresponsible that he could not attend the investment summit. That investment summit, the man who came from Zoom. That $250 million investment is a Zoom investment. The man appeared on Zoom, and how can a company want to invest $250 million for crying out loud? God knows who what $250 million is. And nobody from the company is responsible enough to come to the place where the summit is taking place. The man was hiding in Ted Joshua in Obasanjo on that Zoom meeting, and he now went that. Imagine a man who is an investor. He was also the guest speaker of the event. After I finished Jamari currently talking left, talking right without any summary, he now said, "I will give you my company has sent me. They instructed me for me to bring $250 million to Edo State," and everybody started clapping. In a dinner that they have, they just whole dinner. They had a spokesman. After the spokesman came to talk, cluelessly and helplessly, he pledged $250 million that he does not have. That man does not have $250 million naira, let alone dollars. It's a pity that I don't say government at this age of time. See, There are many things that can go wrong. Before I entered this government, I was a development worker. I've worked as officer, advocacy officer. I have done development, as freelance as development officer. I went into government as special advisor to Colin Opaseki. I have advised a man as critical as Opaseki. He appointed me not on political consideration, based on competence and character. After that, I speak to you now. I'm doing a program it's a World Bank sponsored program on development. There is nothing about development that you can tell me. I know it blue black. And as I tell you, that $250 million is a clear sham. For me, it's irritating that the Edo State government can gather together and decide to deceive us with such a shallow scheme, such a pedestrian scheme. Do you know how many times Nigerians have been defrauded by this kind of fraudulent governments?